Good morning, REC Nation. Welcome to the Brunch with REC. And we're going to be doing it a little bit different today than what a lot of my Brunch with REC live webinars have been. I'm going to be doing a solo today, and the reason why is I wanted to show everyone first how to build a proper residential pro forma, how to actually break down a traditional residential investment. And as well, just to show you one of the tools that all of our REC insiders have the ability to have access to, which is that financial pro forma, that breakdown that I'm going to be going over line by line and showing some live examples. The other main reason why we wanted to bring this topic to all of our REC insiders is during a lot of my real estate action plan discussions, the main focus, once we understand what you're trying to look into with an investment, the biggest one of in today's market, the biggest type of investment somebody wants is something with cash flow, what they're trying to get out of that investment. And I think it's just a misconception that we can't find cash flow in the Greater Toronto area and that Southern Ontario market. I'm actually going to be showing you 3 examples of opportunities that do cash flow and that are relatively turnkey. Right now, we have the opportunity, and I know we've helped coming up to about 35 REC insiders this year, finding active investments with cash flow. So there are opportunities. Investors are taking advantage of today's market, especially with the lack of buyers presence. And now, over the last 2 months, the supply increase that we're noticing. I know Jazz and Simeon spoke about that in one of their previous Brunch with RECs. That together, we're able to find some compelling buying opportunities that do show cash flow. And I do think that in this market, we have to really analyze our opportunities. If you've done your due diligence the last decade, you have to do double the due diligence, I think, in the upcoming decade. You really have to understand what the expenses are, what you're getting into in regards to the quality or the state of the home. But there are some great opportunities. And if you can find something today that's relatively turnkey with cash flow at a higher interest rate, when interest rates do creep down, your cash flow is going to be amplified as well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do a few live examples of how to build a financial pro forma. For everybody watching live or on the recording, if you would like a copy emailed to you of this pro forma, send an email to info@reccanada.com. Someone on our team will send you a copy of our pro forma and you can play around with it. I have my team, the boots to the ground experts, I have them run pro formas every day. It's really important, especially if you're an investor, actively looking for a potential opportunity. It doesn't matter if you're looking for, duplexes, triplexes, a residential, townhouse, a resale condo, pre-construction condo. If it's a residential investment, this pro forma is a really good way just to understand what your expenses are, what the cost to purchase the property is, as well what you'll get out of it with a return. So I'm going to share my screen now, and Nick, if you don't mind just bringing it up. And what we see here is our pro forma for real estate investments. It's our residential pro forma. There's 2 columns, and the formulas are already built in to this pro forma. So it is really a plug and play. We have here, and I'll go through it with live examples, but I'll talk about it a little bit right now. So at the beginning, at the top, with this black bar, we have the ability to put the address of the property, just so you can keep it organized. The list price, let's say it's listed at $700,000. Automatically, the expenses or the mortgage payment breakdown, as well as the down payment based off of this indicator, this number here, already populates with whatever the list price is. The property type, this is where I would write in, a little bit more about the opportunity. The duplex, turnkey, Niagara, something like that, just so you can stay organized. My hope, anyways, is that if you're anyone like me, my hope is that you would go with the performer to realtor.ca to other realtors that you work with REC. You can reach out to our residential division as well to send you some opportunities, and you just go and build some performas. I think it's really important to take some good notes here, just so you understand. Okay, in Niagara, this is a duplex turnkey, because if you're like me and you build a lot of performance, you're gonna forget what this specific 123 Main Street is. Additional information, you can put a little bit more in here in regards to the property. Let's say it's like fully tenanted, upper unit is leaving December, closing in January, something like that. You can write there that as well. Here, the revenue, this is where you would put your monthly gross rental income. There's a vacancy a component of this as well, which automatically reduces the amount of rent you collect, or in this line anyway. So let's say it's $3,000 a month you get in rent, automatically with a 2% vacancy to offset vacancy as you're going through the years of owning the property. Naturally, you will have some vacancy turnover, some vacancy with turnover, sorry, and it automatically gets calculated. So that's a reduction in the amount of gross rent you do collect. Under here, we'll see the traditional monthly operating expenses to carry the house, property taxes, insurance, repairs and maintenance reserve. What the repairs and maintenance reserve is sort of a slush fund. We do recommend at least having a 5% reserve in maintenance, repairs and maintenance reserve. Things come up, especially when the home was built in the 70s, the 80s. You could do a home inspection and you could do a really good job of checking the bones of the property, but the reality is, roofs need to be changed, furnaces go, appliances break, and it's good to have this reserve, repairs and maintenance reserve there. Property management. I'm going to be working performas today because it is these are all turnkey opportunities. My hope is that you don't need a property manager, but you do have the ability to calculate that in the performa. Property management, I would say on the residential traditional investment, you're looking between 8 to 12% of the gross rent monthly is what the cost to work with a property management company is. It's usually around 10%. If you were working with a property manager for an Airbnb type of property, it does increase a bit. So instead of, let's say, you collect $3,000 a month in gross rental income, with a traditional property manager, you would be paying, if it's at 10% their fee, you'd be paying $300 every single month. But now let's say the home is a short-term rental or an Airbnb opportunity. The average that I see for property managers there, because it is obviously a lot more work when it comes to cleaning and coordinating the check-in and check-outs, it's usually between 18 to 22%. So, let's say you do get someone at 18%, obviously it increases that. And then condo fees. We're not going to be looking at any condos today, but you have the ability to add that there. Under here, the monthly debt service, this pulls from this number here, the monthly payment. So don't worry about adjusting this. The second mortgage or line of credit payment, let's say, for example, you're using a home equity line of credit to get the $140,000 that you need to put down for this, the $700,000 purchase, and it costs you, $3,000, call it $1,500. I don't know, it won't be that much, but let's just say it is. You can add it here. It's a good way to really understand, especially if you're using equity built up in your current pre-existing portfolio to buy something else. It's important to know the full picture of what is that going to cost you. On the right here, this column here, the first part I want to talk about is mortgage payment breakdown. The formula is already built in. So let's say, for example, instead you're putting 25% down, it adjusts the down payment, adjusts the mortgage amount, as well as your monthly payments. If you're putting less down, all you have to do is work the percentage number here. Mortgage amount automatically gets calculated based off of list price and subtract the down payment. Interest rate, we're going to be working performance today at 6.2%. That is something that some of our buyers were able to get on a I think they got a 3-year fixed at 6.2. But it seems like between 6.2 to 6.4 is something that's realistic for an interest rate. But you can adjust it as well. Let's say, for example, you have to work with an alternative lender and you're at a 7% interest rate. Your monthly payments are automatically calculated. And then also with the amortization. The formula is already built in. Cash required to close. These are your closing costs. Down payment gets calculated based off of this number and this percentage that we put in. Land transfer tax, legal fees, and inspection. The only other cost that you might see sometimes is, especially in today's market, is an appraisal cost. Because of where the interest rates are, you obviously want to be able to get a second opinion on value if values don't show, and lenders are being extra more conservative now with values. So you might have to incur an additional appraisal costs. Budget about $500 for that. Lastly is the return on investment. This is what we call the 4 ways to win. No matter what you purchase in a residential investment, these 4 categories, these 4 return categories of ROI, you get in every single purchase potentially. And what they are is, first is cash flow, gross rent, minus all of your expenses. What do you get out of that monthly or yearly? Could be positive, negative, or neutral. Principal pay down. As you're making your mortgage payment, you're paying 2 different two things. One is interest, one is principal. Interest, we can't do anything about. That's the price to play the game. But principal, every time your tenant is making their rent payments and you're using that rent to go and pay your mortgage, you're reducing the balance of your mortgage, which gives you the ability to recapture that either when you sell or when you go through these alternative, leveraging, refinancing, home equity lines of credit. That's principal pay down. Passive appreciation is how much does a home grow in value without you doing anything to the property. And right now, and you can adjust it actually, the passive appreciation. So this is at 5%. If we're seeing a micro market and we believe that next year the value will grow 7%, you can adjust it there. But today, let's work it at a 5%. Active appreciation is how much does the value of your home increase with you doing renovations to the property. Let's say, for example, you have a home, you buy a single family home with an unfinished basement. You put $100,000 in to finish the basement and put some appliances in. And we know in that specific micro market, the value of the home for duplexes or single family homes with an accessory apartment in the basement sell for $300,000 more. So what you would do here, let's say we do rental costs at 100,000 and active appreciation, then in this example would be 300,000. Again, cash flow, gross rent, subtract all of your expenses. What do you get out of this property monthly or yearly? Principal pay down, as you're making your mortgage payment, the balance of your mortgage is lowering. That gives you the ability to recapture that either when you sell or when you leverage your asset through a refinance or home equity line of credit. Passive appreciation, how much does your home grow in value based off of the area it's in without you doing any work to the property? Active appreciation is the other side of that coin. If you do work to the property, how much does that grow in value? And those are the 4 ways to win. Now, you get all 4 of those categories in every residential investment, potentially. But it's important to note what is more important to you as an investor. And today we're going to be talking about some cash flow. But if you're looking to build the foundation of your portfolio. If you're looking to hold the home for 10, 15 years potentially, even 5 years, you should also look into areas that have a lot of pending growth and development, high rise, transit, employment infrastructure growth. Target those markets because you potentially could have some pretty stable passive appreciation there as well. Now, let's go through a live example of opportunities that we can look at as investors today. And the first one I wanted to show is 544 First Ave. So 544 First Ave is in Welland. It is close to the college that is there in Welland, Niagara College. And this specific opportunity we know very well because some of our investors have actually bought very close to this subject property. The tenant demographic for this specific opportunity is students. And right now, rent-wise, we're seeing about $700 a door on average is what the rents in Welland is for student rentals. But we want to be conservative here, and I think it's always important to be conservative while you're building a pro forma for yourself. And I'm going to be using rents today at $625 a door. The first thing that I always do when I build a pro forma is I look at what the list price is. So this specific property is listed for $499,990. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my pro forma, write it here, $499,990. The type of property, it is a duplex, or it is a fully rented, positive cash flow, 7-bed, 2-bath, semi-detached. So just write, semi-detached, 7 doors. Student rentals, we usually use the term doors because you're usually renting it out per student basis per door. So we just know through the 7 doors specifically for student housing is that you have 7 potential students that you're going to be renting it to. For additional information, you could write days on market potentially, which is down here, if you wanted to. So it's been listed since the 27th, so 2 days. Actually, it's been listed for a little bit. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So you could say listed for a few months, and then maybe potential for a lower purchase price. Some notes to keep. Automatically, the $499,990 gets calculated here, which means that our mortgage payment based off of a 6.2% interest rate is going to be $2,450 a month. I always like to work the income or the rents first, and then I'll do the expenses. Just go top to bottom. So with this specific opportunity, we know that there's 7 doors, so $625 a door, and we're going to times that by 7, which gives us $4,375 in gross rent, and that is very realistic. In fact, it's conservative. We can definitely see a little bit more there. Rental vacancy rate is already calculated. Property taxes, if I go back to the listing, you'll see property taxes here, which is $3,356. So you do enter, $3,356, but you're going to divide that by 12 because it's monthly we're calculating here. Insurance, I would say rule of thumb for these semi-detached, detached residential investments, right about $140 to $150 a month in insurance. If it's a condo, you can get away with about $90, $80, $90. But for that duplex potential, $140 should be realistic enough. Repairs and maintenance, 5% is automatically calculated from the gross rent. Property management, this specific opportunity, we are not going to be we're not going to be charging property management, but if you want to, again, I would say write 10% there. And there's no condo fees. Now, one thing to note with this specific opportunity, in my experience with student rentals, is you'll probably have to pay the utilities as well. And this specific pro forma doesn't have the utilities aspect, but It usually does utilities. So I'm just going to create a new line here for utilities. And let's just work it on 450 bucks a month. 150 for gas, 150 for water, 150 for hydro. Okay, now before I take a look down here, let's take a look at the mortgage payment just to see if it's right. We know I spoke with let's say I'm an investor building a performer for myself. I spoke to my independent mortgage broker. They think it's realistic that I can get a 6.2% interest rate. If we are 6.4%, we can adjust it here. And then the monthly payment automatically gets calculated. Cash required to close. So down payment, let's do land transfer tax. Calculator. Rate Hub is a good one. I usually use Rate Hub to calculate your land transfer tax. We're in Welland. And purchase price again on this one is $499,990. Okay, calculate now. Oh. In Welland. So $6,475 is going to be your land transfer tax. Legal fees. I would probably write $1,500 just to be conservative. I have noticed in the last probably about 2 years that legal fees have increased a little bit. I used to only write $1,200 on here, but it seems like everything's getting a little bit more expensive here. And then it was a home inspection. I would say these prices vary for home inspection. You get from $500 to $1,000. Let's just write $800 for the home inspection. So in this specific opportunity, if we can get it at $499,990, which actually seemed a little bit low. For this type of property, they must have listed low here. Let me take a look because that seems a little bit low in the purchase price. I'm taking what I'm looking for here. Oh yeah. So they did hold back offers, but they didn't get anything they wanted. I think this is a little bit low. I know that one of our investors just purchased a very similar property in Welland. I think they got it for $615. So let's just say it's $600,000. This seems a little bit more realistic. If you can find this property for $499, you should tie that up today. Okay, but 600 seems more realistic based on my area knowledge in Welland. So what we're seeing in estimated net monthly cash flow for this specific property is $259 a month in positive cash flow. That's at a 6.2% interest rate. The total cash required to close, that includes your down payment and all of your miscellaneous closing costs that come with this type of investment, is about $130,000. And what do we get out of this? The 4 ways to win. So first is cash flow. If we can get $259 a month in net cash flow, we're going to see a monthly at $3,111. You're getting about almost $6,000 in your principal pay down. And lastly is passive appreciation. If this home grows by 5%, and then I could tell you just from knowing the Welland area, because I've been speaking to a lot of investors in this market, that same home at the top of the market was selling really close to the 7s, high 6s. And if we're even conservative with that 5% growth, we're able to capitalize on that $30,000 of growth. But we're looking at cash flow here. And once, as I said, interest rates start creeping down again, we get cash flow with a 6.2% interest rate. But let's just say now we're creeping down to 5.5%. That cash flow is almost $500 a month, and it's something that I don't think is going to happen in the next year realistically. But as it will happen, you have the ability to get cash flow today, and at the same time, you can find a fantastic turnkey opportunity in an area like Welland, where the tenant pool is, always there, especially with Niagara College. You get good turnover, as well as the pool of tenants is pretty abundant. As well, it's in an area that has a lot of potential growth, right? The Niagara region, just as a whole, we're seeing, because of the construction and the development in Hamilton, rents are increasing and spilling over into the Niagara region, as well as development. They already have the GO line being built up there, but also you get the change in employment infrastructure naturally as more people come into an area, as well as the high-rise density is coming there as well. So that's one specific property. So 544 First Ave, if we were to tie that one up at 600,000, that's you'll get $259 a month in rent. Let's take a look at one in Thorold. So this one, the list price is 649. So we're gonna switch this to 649,000. Take a look here. This home is a 3-bedroom upstairs, 3-bedroom downstairs with 2 bathrooms. So we know that we're renting this. It's detached, 3-bed upper, 3-bed lower. You can take a look at additional information here. This was listed about a month ago now. So it'd be, a potentially good opportunity to reach out to the seller just to see, what's their motivation. Is this price realistic? What they're looking for? Or are they willing to work with us a little bit more? And we have the ability right now to flex a bit as buyers. We haven't had that for a decade. With the supply that's evidently here, as well as the lack of buyers present currently, and that might change with the last Bank of Canada rate halt earlier this year, when we saw 2 rate halts in a row from the Bank of Canada. We actually saw that, I think it was the month of February, really increase the transactions, the amount of buyers that were on the market. They felt that the ceiling was already there, and everyone's just trying to time the market right now. And we did see an increase in transactions and activity. So this is a second rate halt now, and of this this quarter. So let's see what we can see in regards to buyers' confidence in the market. But as of right now, this home is still up and supply is still there. So 649. It's a 3-bedroom upper, 3-bedroom lower. I took a look at Thorold, and I had my team actually do it. And in Thorold right now, actually, we should write the 31 Lampman. Lampman in Thorold. So right now, in Thorold, we're pretty confident for this specific home, and you can go down and take a look at some of the photos here. Just very traditional, buy and potential maybe flip. Someone's maybe trying to flip this one with those finishes. So we're seeing right now $2,350 for the upper, 3-bedroom upper, and $1,750 for the lower. So what I would do is I'd go hit enter. So I'll do $2,350 and $1,750, which gives us $4,100 in gross rental income. We will redo again the property taxes. So $3,050 is the property tax. So equals $3,050 divided by 12. Insurance is the same. Repairs and maintenance is there. This one specifically, we're not going to be paying utilities because it is a duplex. So we'll have the tenants pay for that. Everything's already calculated. We're going to switch the down payment for this, or the land transfer tax, so $649 instead. So $9,473. Oh, $9,473. Legal fees is the same. Home inspection is the same. And you can see how fast we built this one, because we're in the process now of already building pro formas. So This specific opportunity, if we can tie it up at 650,000 or 649, this 3-bedroom upper, 3-bedroom lower in Thorold, and it's minutes to Brock University as well, as you can see here. So we do potentially could rent this out to students as well. We're seeing if we can get $4,100 in rent, we're getting $239 in positive cash flow. How this looks in your ROI, based off the capital you put down, you're looking at cash flow of about $3,000 a year, your principal pay down of $6,141, as well as your passive appreciation being $32,000, which gives you, based off of the capital you put in, after year one, if we see this, is about 30%. Lastly, let's do one in Oshawa, somewhere a little bit closer to the GTA. Actually, you know what? Before I start with Oshawa, just know that we are very bullish at REC here with the Niagara region. If you are looking for an opportunity that is turnkey with cash flow and want to take advantage of the supply increase, look into these areas. We've helped 35 insiders buy these types of opportunities this year, and the majority of them are looking in these areas. You have the ability to really take advantage of the price drop that we've seen, as well at the same time get cash flow and situate yourself or your portfolio in an area that has a lot of pending and approved construction or development. And you know that's going to be a nice sweet spot when we talk about the mix of passive appreciation and cash flow. So let's go to Oshawa. So this one is on Hillcroft, so just north of the 401. 337 Hillcroft in Oshawa. The list price for this is $799. What type of home is it? So it's a detached 3-bedroom upstairs, 2-bedroom downstairs. Let's take a look. Oh, and it's a legal duplex as well. So we can write legal duplex, 3-bed upper, 3-bed or 2-bed lower. Rents are going to change. So in Oshawa right now, we've seen a really big increase in rent in Durham in general. In Oshawa, what we can expect on a 3-bedroom upper and a 2-bedroom lower is the upper is going to be rented for $2,600 a month, which I've been helping investors for almost a decade. Specifically, Durham was a market that I helped a good handful of REC insiders actually buy these types of opportunities, and I'm sure they could tell you as well. At the time, you know, call it 5-6 years ago, the 3-bedroom uppers were renting for about $1,800, $1,750 potentially, and now we're getting $2,600 a month in rent. We over the past few years, the rents in Durham have caught up to Toronto, and even in condos, the rents are very comparable right now to what we see in Toronto because, you know, Oshawa, Durham in general, because of how connected it is with transit, with the GO line and 401, obviously, it is an extension of, you know, the Toronto and the greater Toronto area, obviously, and you know, rents have increased. So the upper right now is about $2,600 a month. The lower is 24. I saw one rented a 2-bedroom at 2,500 when I was doing my research for this opportunity. Let's go 2,450 for the lower 2-bedroom unit. So we're getting $5,000 a month in rent. The property taxes are going to change. So the property taxes in this one is $4,844. $4,844. Divide that by 12. Insurance is going to be the same. Repairs and maintenance is going to be the same as well. And everything gets calculated automatically. We're going to change the land transfer tax again. So it's $799 in Oshawa. So we're going to switch the location. Again, this website is ratehub.ca. Actually, a pretty good price. So $12,455. Let's see if they're holding back offers. legal fees, and home inspection. Now let's take a look at this specific opportunity. And right now, each unit has its own privately fenced. Current leases are $21.95 for the lower and $24.95 for the upper. The upper tenant is leaving December 1st, 23. Let's see if they're holding back offers because it's a legal duplex. They're not. So this is a realistic price. That's a good price. Um, it's nice. So if we can get $5,000 a month in rent, gross, we're looking at $238 of net positive cash flow. The cash required to close is $175,000, and look what we're getting here in regards to your return on your investment. We're getting almost $3,000 a month in cash flow, which is very similar to what we've seen in all the opportunities. $7,561 in principal paydown, as well as passive appreciation of almost $40,000. These homes, because I was looking at Oshawa actually in 2021, if we can tie this home up at 800,000, and this I'm fairly confident in saying that these homes were selling, especially because it's a legal duplex, a little bit higher than what we were seeing now. And that's what we're noticing in the market right now. We are noticing a little bit of turbulence when it comes to values, obviously, and the supply is starting to pick up. So I do, unless we see a huge change with buyers' confidence in the market and activity, I believe that we are going to see a little bit more of a drop in price, which means for investors who have the ability to take advantage to use their funds right now and are comfortable with jumping into the market, there's a lot of potential here to really situate yourself in a great opportunity that does cash flow, so you're not putting any money extra in every single month. And these are areas that Oshawa kind of speaks for itself in regards to what's happening there. But in Welland, in Thorold, in Niagara region, Hamilton, we're seeing some cash flow positive opportunities. There's tremendous potential to really find a good opportunity and take advantage of the market. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just so we can go big screen again. And I wanted to have this conversation today because that's what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing, what investors want to, what they want to look at right now, or some investors want to look at, they want something that's relatively turnkey, that doesn't cost them every month, in negative cash flow to hold the property. You potentially you could be holding some negative cash flow in your pre-existing portfolio. I am myself, and to make a decision of going into another opportunity, some investors want something where they can at least have a little bit of cash flow. And these opportunities I wanted to highlight are just a few of ones that we can look at today. If this conversation resonated with any REC insider, I would like them to head to, and Nick, if you don't mind putting this link in the chat, coffeewithrec.com, and I'll put it right here for you, Nick. Go to coffeewithrec.com, book a call with me. We'll do some live examples of opportunities. I'll open up MLS and we can actually analyze the market together. If you are just a real estate junkie and want to understand what's going on right now, do it. Book a call with me. Send an email to info@REC Canada if you don't want to book something right now. And just let me know that you're interested in looking at potentially cash flow positive opportunities, or at least, understand some of these micro markets we highlighted a little bit. Book a call. We can take our time one-on-one, and we'll do just this. We'll do it together. If anyone is interested in receiving the pro forma, I know I said this at the beginning, but for anyone who checked in a little bit later, head to or send an email to info@reccanada.com, and I'm more than happy to have my team send you that workable pro forma. Use this recording to kind of go through again. But I hope today I shed some light on what we can see in the market if we are, if we do want to take a shot at an opportunity. We as buyers have the ability to, to flex a little bit, to really negotiate and take a shot. take a shot at an opportunity. The sellers that are on the market right now potentially are ones that need to sell because they can't, they can't hold the property, or they need their funds out to, offset what's going on in their day-to-day life. Um, and we all know, right, what's happening right now, especially when we're looking at just kind of credit debt in general, or debt in general. People are now going into their lines of credit, their credit cards a little bit more, and some people want to exit with some of their investments, and we can take advantage of that. You can tie things up now with home inspections, with financing conditions. In most cases, we don't have to put an offer firm. We could take our time. We can go and analyze the opportunity once we tie it up. And if it doesn't work, financing wise, or we see something that we don't like in the home, we have the right, if we have that home inspection and financing condition in the agreement of purchase and sale, to back away from it. And you get your deposit back. We then can just revisit different areas and build another plan potentially. I would love to speak with all insiders as we head into 2024. I think next year is going to be a great year to look at opportunities. And really, when it comes to building your financing plan and building your real estate action plan, we got to start it now. So head to coffeewithrec.com, book a call with me. At least right now, send an email to info@REC Canada so I can go and send you that pro forma and start playing around with it. If you have any questions, let us know at REC Canada. We are here to bounce ideas off of, to help you make that right decision to build true wealth in real estate. And I myself, running that real estate coaching division, I'm always here just to have that conversation. If you need anything, just reach out to us. It was a great discussion today. I hope that you all took a look and got some value in seeing the market, and we could find cash flow. So send us an email, book a call with me. I would love to speak with you. But other than that, have a great Sunday. My name is Tyler again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next few Brunch with RECs, everyone. The next one is not next Sunday, but the following with Jazz and Simeon. Bye now.